aggressive roam pick. But we're about to jump into the land of dawn. Come on, Philippines! And viewers from around the world, it's game number 1 of the semi-final lower bracket. Blacklist International going up against DEUS VULT. It's gonna be a hype one, boys. Who we got?
5 seconds till the enemy reaches the battle.
I was worried for a second there. I feel like even the crowd hold their breath for a bit. But now we're jumping into the game. And again, I want to see the early rotations coming in from both teams, looking like a lot of protection coming in from Blacklist International, making sure that Sensui's early movement all around the map, all around the jungle is not going to get interrupted.
And I really like that point, right? Because for Blacklist International, you mentioned they have more ways to get in this game. Mainly, I would say that XP lane advantage with the mobility, right? Maybe when it comes to clear and trades, not as good, but that mobility from the Bakito will definitely help him get more rotations on the map with Sensui to get that trio mid running.
All right, so we got the Hitman Paquito. We got Renny J on a very aggressive roamer as well. I feel like Blacklist may be able to get a little bit aggressive in the early game, maybe even push into enemy jungle, try to invade, try to disrupt the aggression that DEUS VULT wants to bring to them.
Right now, looking at the emblem set here, looking at Carvey with the Brody with the Master Assassin, it looks like he wants to stay in the lane for quite a bit, trying to get a solo kill if possible.
Look at this roam though, Edward coming down, Renegade very low. Sunset Lover needs to run away, Sawo gonna be the target. But Sensui will just commit the retreat. Doesn't really want to go for anything too much in the early stage.
All right, so Blacklist International making some quick rotations. Edward is definitely going to be able to move around the map a bit more than Kid Bomba, but anything crazy about these first item buys?
Oh.
Honestly, looking at the Elegant Gem here coming in from Sunset Lover, I kind of feel like he's going to have a better time around the turtle, but I want to talk about the rotations here because Edward cut the lane very, very fast, and now Sensui is targeting the EXP lane.
It's a good chunk of damage onto Kid Bomba. He's forced back. Magister rotating up top as well. Bomba forced to use that regen early, and he's going to lose a lot of prio in that lane.
And he loses the gold crab over to UA there. Turtle going to be up in just a few seconds.
Rotation advantage utilized by Blacklist International. Now onto the turtle, the first one of the game. Appraiser's Rat by Sensui to get the job done even faster. Edward in the back, knockout strike to zone them away, but now it's going to be Edward caught in a bad spot. A good Nether Realm coming down, the implosion disengages for them. Renegade sweeps them back all the way to Edward, but they have to disengage. Renegade with a flicker defensively. Sawo on top of Magister, running Renegade down. Yue has the flicker ready, but it doesn't need to commit it. He falls back in the way. Kid Bomba looking for a dive. Yue very low, looking for an outplay, finds it. Falls, and Yue claims first blood.
DEVU biting off a little more than they could chew right there, but well played from both sides. Blacklist coming out on top though.
Right now we're looking at a hero counter here for the Boxia as well as the Fredwin. 50% win rate, but I gotta say for Blacklist International, the game that they're playing is priority. Edward having that priority allows them to maneuver better in the fight. And here's the thing, this is a DEUS VULT thing. When they see an opportunity, they go for it. And Blacklist International, this is what I'm talking about. They're very good at kiting. The moment they understand they can't win, they're gonna have a safe distance. So DEUS VULT, they gotta be careful. They're playing into Blacklist International's plan.
Man, I gotta say, the agents are going crazy right now.
Hard guard coming down, Carvey with re-engage onto Renegade. Now it's Magister, Shield Unity, locking Sensui down just for a bit. Sensui racking up those stacks into the Appraiser's Wrath. Yue still has a flicker, decides to pop it off, but now it's gonna be the chase down, and they're torn apart memory to equalize in the early game. That's 1-1.
I would say the only mistake there was that Yue was separated from his team, and because of that, maximum damage coming in from Carvey because of his emblem setup with the Master Assassin. So if Renegade was around closer to Carvey, he could have survived.
DEVU, you know this is when they're feeling good. This is the mentality that they need coming in this game. Sawo dropping the TPs, dropping the taunts right now, but we are having a first look at these items, LaFell.
I kind of feel like the power spike is going to be a little bit faster for Sunset Lover just because the item that he's building is a little bit cheaper. But before that, Edward goes in!
A big punch onto Sawa, knocks him out. Sunset Lover zoned away. Now it's Magister who's looking for an angle back to try to claim this turtle, but Sensui is one level ahead. Yue dealing some good damage. The Terrify as well to pressure Kid Bomba. That's an explosion from Renegade. Forcing the Nether Realm, but Edward looking for the flank right now. Jumps in with a jab. Another one to take the Nether Realm HP. That's Yue with another Nether Realm as well, and Renegade will fall. DEUS, VULT have won on this team fight. Appraisers back.
Nice flicker.
From Kid Bomba with amazing flicker. Sensui is engaging. Now it's going to be Edward jumping on a Sunset Lover, finding the kill. And Carby, flicker forward onto the minion waves. Edward still surviving. The torn apart memory, dealing not enough damage to take him down as OHEB rotates as well. Meanwhile, Magister with a good steal onto the enemy purple buff. Blacklist International lose out on this turtle pit fight.
We're only 5 minutes in, guys. 5 minutes in on game one. And DEUS, VULT, and Blacklist International are swinging right now. It's been a kill a minute, technically.
I kind of feel like for Blacklist, the idea is we start the engage. Don't allow DEUS VULT to start the engage, because for DEUS VULT to win the team fight, they got to go in hard. They got to make sure whatever they want, they get it as fast as they can, because Blacklist International, even though they don't have a healer, this is how they play. They know how to play prolonged team fights. So Blacklist International, they're completely fine with committing first, force DEUS VULT to use all of their skills, and then they just take over the team fight later. Blacklist International, they're playing with DEUS VULT. DEUS VULT has to recognize this. You got to be proactive. Don't let Blacklist do whatever they want first.
And that's due to the rotation speed, right? That game of prio that Blacklist International are slowly utilizing to get this lead. It just seems like DEUS VULT, even when they want to retaliate, they get there a bit too late.
Man, Edward is definitely going to be the saving grace of the team right now. 2-0-0. He had about 1,000K gold lead over Kid Bomba, or about an 800K gold lead over Kid Bomba. He is just feeling himself right now.
I can't believe he has 1,000K.
1,000K.
That's like, what, a million?
That's
It's a lot.
That's a lot of, yeah.
Yeah.
You understood what I was saying.
Yeah. Nah, you know, analysts. Anyways, looking at the situation here, looks like Blacklist International, they are hovering around the turtle pit. They're trying to figure out where DEUS VULT is. They see Magister. And I kind of feel like they should have an idea of where Sunset Lover as well as Carby is. They do. They just confirmed it. They just confirmed it. So now, Blacklist International, they're waiting for a setup coming in from Renegade.
Sensui has got an angle, a great one. A last hit, he jumps in all the way, but Magister is the one who picks it up. A bit of a miscalculation by Sensui as Carby dishes out some damage. Edward gonna be caught right now, flickers out, but will still fall to Kid Bomba.
They needed that. They needed that kill on Edward. It was very important to slow him down. DEUS VULT still behind, but keeping up overall.
Implosion onto that top side, shoving him back as well. Another realm saves him just for a bit. Carby with a good stun onto Yue, but that's another realm stolen away. Torn apart memory gonna be used up, but not the right timing. Yue flickers out the safety, and just like that, both teams disengage once again. Sensui fading.
Let me just say, Sunset Lover is a lover. He's all around the map. Every single time someone gets picked off, quote unquote picked off, he's there with the Netherrealm. The movement coming in, and especially because we looked at his emblem set, all about movement speed. He wants to make sure that he's a utility mid laner, but the thing is, now he has the Necklace of Durance. 2 more items, he becomes a damage dealer as well.
Definitely very true. Stats starting to get evened out here. Taking a look at some of the items. OHEB's closing in on that Berserker's Fury. Once he gets that and he can start rotating around the map a bit, and there it is, it just locked in. Now we're gonna start seeing some damage really start to unload from OHEB.
That's the thing, right? For the power spikes, even though OHEB is gaining gold at a very good pace, Brody's gonna hit his power spike a bit earlier. So Blacklist International need to be very careful about this mid-game power spike. They're already getting turrets across the board. Carby's doing the same, trading it up top. But Blacklist seems like they want to go for more. I don't know if Kid Bomba can defend this all alone, but he should be able to clear the waves up. Penalty zone onto the back. Magister flanking as well onto Renegade, but it's a good peel. Kid Bomba with a flicker. Implosion to save the team, but OHEB gets ran down. It's another realm a bit late by Yue as he stole it just earlier, but his nether realm HP is getting taken now. Renegade isolated from the rest of the team and should be taken down by the 4-man squad of DEUS VULT. They get the turret though.
I gotta say, man, looking at Blacklist International, that was good, but DEUS VULT, what's the communication there? Because Kid Bomba was very patient. The moment the close proximity comes in, they're like, yeah, guys, let's just go in. That was a good call from DEUS VULT.
A risky move from Edward, falls to the torn apart memory in the mid lane. He tried to defend that all alone, and now with no Edward, Sensui, his odds of getting this red tree down will be very, very slim. Kid Bomba poking him down. Yue coming down as well. The Appraiser's Wrath gets rid of Kid Bomba, but it bought enough time ready for Magister to secure the Lord. Carby, gotta be careful. The hard guard comes in. Yue dashing forward. but Carvey falls. OHEB getting a lot of damage done. The Implosion Flicker combo comes in from Renegade as he finds another, and it's a double kill for OHEB.
All it takes is one play to turn a game around. DEUS VULT secures the Lord with Blacklist International. This is something they've been doing for the past 2 days now.
I would say that's not worthwhile trade for DEUS VULT. The Lord, one Lord against like what, 3 devs? Totally not worth it, especially because he was on the carry. Carvey made a crucial mistake. At that HP, he should have backed off. No matter the vision, even if you just see one person against a team like Blacklist, someone's waiting around the corner. That was a total mistake coming in from Carvey.
I think they thought they had staggered the death timers enough to make a big play again happen, just like they did into Edward in the mid lane. Magister, all alone, has a hard guard to keep him very safe. Sunset Lover doing the best he can to give or to find value with the Lord. But unfortunately, due to that mistake, they won't be able to find any value here. Maybe aside from the tier 1 in the mid lane, which does equalizes things a bit more. The minions should be able to take it down. No!
Whoa.
Edward punches the minions out.
I love the fact, though, that DEUS VULT right now is bringing it to Blacklist. A lot of people probably came into this wondering if they were going to be able to match up against such a top-tier team.
Looking at the items here, a big game changer for Sao, having the Flash of the Oasis, as well as having the fleeting time, means that DEUS VULT getting 1 kill is going to matter so much to them because they can prolong the team fight even longer. Having the Flash of the Oasis makes it so that for DEUS VULT, honestly, if Sao goes into Magister or Kid Bomba, might benefit him more, and Carvey just tries to free hit.
Opening up the map, Magister now going to be taunted down. The hard guard on him. It's not going to be used up just yet. Carvey as well finds those stacks. Now it's the time for the question, LaFell. My question. DEUS VULT have more healing for long team fights, but Blacklist International have more damage for long team fights. So, who wins out in these long team fights?
I would say Blacklist International have been playing this game for such a long time. I feel like the advantage is still on them, even though, like, on paper, looking at the draft, it should be DEUS VULT. But you cannot, like, you can't explain the numbers of experience. I still think it's for Blacklist International.
Yeah, definitely still the favorite, but honestly, it could turn at any moment. Carvey, taking 1 death, still doing well. Also locked in the Malefic Roar, sitting right behind OHEB in terms of gold, but OHEB is definitely gonna have a higher peak right here, gonna have a higher scale overall. DEUS VULT may be running out of time.
That's the thing, right? He's already hit critical mass, so DEUS VULT really needs to look for an angle, and just like, this is when I say it, Carvey gets engaged on. The hard guard used up already. A pretty big resource in the 12th minute of the game.
As long as DEUS VULT doesn't get any kill or assist for like, what, 30 seconds, it's a big win for Blacklist International. The moment Blacklist makes a mistake, gives over a kill, then the fleeting time will trigger and it will basically null the advantage. So now Blacklist International, 3,000 gold lead. They're in a better spot here for the Lord.
And they're great at Lord dances here. Holding it down, resetting again, the quick discipline as they get rid of the midway, but Carvey's doing the same thing on the other side of the map in the top lane. Mid lane pushing down, they need to deal with that or they're gonna lose their tier 2 turret. Sunset Lover barely gets there, and Kid Bomba gets isolated because of that. He takes a whole lot of damage now, and Blacklist International done a lot of damage on the Lord.
Oh, no.
Magister shield unity canceled. Kid Bomba with the penalty zone with the hard guard as well. Yue gonna be isolated from the team right now as he pops in another realm, but that's gonna be the implosion. Disengage in the back. Still, Blacklist International needs to run away. DEUS VULT are charging in. They're screaming DEUS VULT as Renegade flickers back at OHEB. Finds the damage necessary to take Kid Bomba down.
And Edward with the moves, Edward with the grooves. A quick little step in just to pick up the kill onto Kid Bomba, showing who's the better EXP.
Blacklist was patient, man. Again, this is where the experience goes in. They understand the strengths of the hero of DEUS VULT. They're conditional. The damage is conditional. When you're clumped up, you're gonna receive maximum damage. So just go away, use all the dashes that you have, create your distance, and having the Haas Claw on this Bruno, alongside with the Malefic Roar, with the Berserker Fury, just hitting the jungle creep is gonna heal you up so much.
And the awareness as well, right, LaFell? The fact that they know they have OHEB dealing this much damage, you don't need to go for engages, Renegade. Just use the implosion appeal.
And they keep on, they're literally walking into the implosion at this point. Renny J doesn't even have to try to hit anybody. He just waits for them because that's the way that DEUS VULT plays. It makes the Tigreal look like it was meant just to counter their aggressive play style here. So DEVU needs to find a way around that.
So something to note, even if there's no Akai, the Tigreal's there doing basically the same job.
This is going to be tough. Their wave clear isn't too good. DEUS VULT in the bottom lane. Edward getting the turret down all the way, top side as well. It's the Lord who did the work. Now it's only down to one base turret left for DEUS VULT in this defense. And Blacklist International, they choose to take the discipline route. They will disengage.
So LaFell, at this point, DEUS VULT sitting in the back, 6,000 gold behind. You know, it's definitely a hard one, but we did like their composition overall. Is this just a time of, do we just need to wait it out and wait for the big play to happen? Or are the odds even less than that?
No, the big play is if somehow Kid Bomba or Sunset Lover can get onto OHEB, because OHEB is the reason why they've been winning this prolonged team fight, the damage and the sustainability. Ooh. If they can figure out a way to drop him down, there is a chance. Because without OHEB, I would say, even though they have the experience, they can't win, it's just that they won't lose the fight.
It's crazy, the fact that, you know, obviously for UA, for OHEB, we've been seeing these numbers pop up, but you'd expect Carvey and Sunset Lover to be doing the most damage for DEUS VULT, but it's the Bomba himself that's up there, just second to OHEB. Is he building damage, or is it just a normal build? He's just finding the right targets?
I would say it's because he keeps finding those AoE damage, because Blacklist International, they do like to clump up. And we saw the engagements coming in from Kid Bomba with the penalty zone. He, if I'm not mistaken, he only has the Fury Hammer. And I don't think at this point it's going to be all that great unless he goes for a Hunter Strike. Hunter Strike, maybe, but only if your mentality is to get OHEB.
All right, so DEVU, I think they're going to have to try to go for this Lord. But if they're going to do that, Magister can't take too much damage before they engage. He needs to make sure he gets close and maybe look for the cheap play here. DEVU taking their time with it, though.
The kiting is beautiful from Blacklist International. The Lord dance here has been phenomenal for Blacklist. Sensui's on it. Yue doing some damage. Penalty zone. Then locks on to Yue. It's on the memory coming down into the back line, but another round is going to be popped in. Renegade, implosion, locking him down, but it's another round. Renegade going to be zoned away, and Sensui finds a massive Appraiser's Wrath to take it down. Edward loses immortality. Yue very low, still able to survive. Carvey going to get the stun, but OHEB flickers forward. That's a triple. Yue steals it away, and now it's just Sunset Lover all alone in his base. He's done it before. Can he do it again?
The agents are on fire. A valiant effort from DEUS VULT. The Blacklist are closing in.
He won't be able to. 1 second on Sunset Lover against 5 members, 5 agents who stay targeted down the base. Game number 1.
What want to do? They want to dive.
All right. Everybody, let's jump into the land of Dawn. It's game number 2. Blacklist International looking for match point.
DEUS VULT here with the same exact draft. Now against the Estes. Does it work better for their dynamic going up against an Estes instead of a Tigreal, LaFell?
I would say not really, because again, not just the Estes having that heal, but having that slow as well. Look at the dashes coming in from DEUS VULT. Is there many? Because I'm not seeing a lot of dashes coming in from them, so the slow coming in from the Estes is going to be a big impact.
But now they're going to be even clumping it. They're going to be clumping up even more, right? And when it's Renegade on the Estes, it's always the F Estes, the Flicker Estes.
No, one more thing.
What?
It's not just the Blessing of the Moon Goddess. Netherrealm as well.
Oh, yeah, they have the whole package
exactly.
Right now.
So Sunset Lover's got to do a lot of housekeeping to keep that ult away from Yue.
If DEUS VULT want to win the fight, they have to have this mentality that we're going to kill them tomorrow.
You're right. And the next day. And the next day.
Procrastination.
It's kind of like the draft. It's just going to repeat itself over and over and over. DEUS VULT, do they want to push the envelope even more aggressive here? Let's take a look at some of the emblems.
Oh, but before that, Renjay taking quite a lot of damage, surviving still, and again, having a lot of movement speed here. Not a lot of changes from DEUS VULT in terms of their emblem set. They're going for the same thing.
So it's exactly the same as last time.
Yeah.
What a surprise. On the side of DEUS VULT now, I think the goal here, if they're going to really just invest into this, just try to go even harder than last time. Just try to be even more aggressive and really just try to push Blacklist into a corner.
So overload them. And
Overload.
not gonna lie, I do kind of agree, but again, they gotta figure out a way to isolate Blacklist International, but that's the thing. Blacklist International, they don't get isolated. They make sure whenever they're moving together. Even Edward, where theoretically he's gonna be the one soloing a lane, all of a sudden, either Sensui is nearby, Yue, and right now even Renegade is gonna get close.
Wow. A lot of emphasis around this bottom side. Blacklist International want to clear it, and they do it just with one splash of damage. Yue takes away that Nether Realm, just what we mentioned. And Blacklist International, once again, just like in Game 1, are first onto the turtle. Edward already zoning Magister, poking him down, getting him to half with a knockout strike as well. Magister might not be able to even contest for this. Has the regen, pops it in, shield unity onto Edward with the penalty zone onto the back line. Another realm from both teams, the Blessing of the Moon Goddess as well, Yue. Another realm HP gonna be gone. Edward looking for the knockout strike on a Sunset Lover, but they're dealing a lot of damage still. Magister losing out in the Retribution battle. The Sensui, the Appraiser's Wrath comes down. The first blood will be claimed by Kid Bomba. A big trade back as Yue dashes forward, but then gets caught in the Ghost Bursters of Sunset Lover to make it kind of worth it for DEUS VULT.
Yeah, honestly, in the end of things, Magister does go down. It's not good to lose your jungler, and they also lose the turtle, but you find Yue and Edward, two of the huge damage dealers, especially when it comes to the mid-game spike.
I would say just now it was all Kid Bomba as well as Sunset Lover, man. Like, doing a lot of damage and actually controlling Blacklist International. I feel like Sunset Lover with the first kill was able to interrupt some of their abilities, making it so that Blacklist International did not do as much damage as they wanted to.
Here's a big problem, though. Edward continues time and time again to just out-rotate Kid Bomba, and has so much to do with the passive. It has so much to do with the Paquito, and this is where Edward shines. We used to love to see him on the Benedetta. Those proactive EXP laners, those ones that can move around the map, and even earlier when they cut that lane just to get a good position on the turtle, was a great maneuver.
Now looking at the items, honestly quite a lot of same things going on for both teams, but definitely a bigger power spike for the Bruno.
Magister shield unity onto Yue. Sunset Lover trying to deal some damage as well in the back, but Magister's gonna be stunned up right now. Goes on to Sensui, who dashes out. That's another realm baited out from DEUS VULT. And Blacklist International decides to disengage with the help of Renegade's Blessing of the Moon Goddess.
I feel like that engage was a little bit too early. I kind of feel like going in when it's around 7 or 8 seconds when a turtle is about to spawn could give you a better lead because you're going to make sure that their HP is chunked down. But I don't know, man, going up against this Estes, even when you're doing something right, it feels like you're doing something wrong because even when you get to trade, the trade becomes invisible because he just heals back up.
Looks like they may be going for the lane swap here. Around the 4.5 minute mark, Kid Bomba gonna move to the top side along with Edward Turtle spawning up. So DEVU, they've been a little bit aggressive. They're still falling behind in gold so far. Can they take this turtle?
Good damage in the mid lane onto Yue, taking him to half HP, but he goes in to terrify them instead. Edward doing a good job at jabbing Magister, poking him down. Meanwhile, Bomba's more concerned with the waves.
He'll be able to make it in time. It shouldn't be too much. Magister also going to secure the purple buff. Can they go for the steal?
He retreat that. Edward force a flicker out. Hard gun coming down. 4-man penalty zone by Kid Bomba, but Sensui still finds the turtle. That was a Blessing of the Moon Goddess, but Renegade's caught in the midst of it all. Flickers out to save the Sunset Lover with a flicker of his own. And Edward is forced back. Now under the turret, going to be taken down as well by Sawa.
Let me just say, if you want to give an MVP, man, look at Sunset Lover. The Shadow Stampedes. Again, we're talking about you got to figure out a way how to make sure that Blacklist International don't kind of look at Kid Bomba.
Bomba's caught under the turret, now caught under the Appraiser's Wrath. Sensui takes him out.
As I was saying, DEUS VULT, they find the answer. Time when Blacklist International wants to kite away, when they want to move back. At that moment, press again the Shadow Stampede to interrupt their movement. So I kind of feel like for DEUS VULT, Sunset Lover is the key. He is the disruptor. He is the enabler for their team.
He's a player that has gone very, just not as known in the beginning of M5, but so far in the knockout stage, he has been turning up.
A 2v4. That could have been deadly there. Magister goes in, taunts it up, Appraiser's Wrath. once again, but Magister still is able to survive. Torn apart memory just to poke Blacklist down, and Blacklist will just take another structure. Well, the first structure of this game in the bottom lane.
All right, DEUS VULT now behind 1K gold. I feel like they have to, I think they kind of just have to step up their macro a bit, but UA
Taken low.
should be able to get away there. Let's take a look at these items.
Honestly, one notable thing is just that for this time, Kid Bomba doesn't have the Fury Hammer, so he shouldn't be able to do as much damage as before. So that may be the adjustment, going straight for defense instead of delaying it for a little bit of offense. So it's an interesting change. We do have to see if it will work out.
Could be the answer here, right? It could be something that helps him survive a little bit longer when he goes for those big OPZs, right? When he goes for those big engages into the back line, because what happens to him a lot is when he jumps back there, he's immediately shredded down. And with Sunset Lover, Carvey, Sawo able to kind of be aggressive, it might be the magic ingredient.
And now, how does this play out, LaFell? Does the mid-game power spike still hit for DEUS VULT where they want to look for big fights? Carvey taken low! Up top, no hard guard! What happened? Was Sawo canceled? No! It was a complete miscalculation, and Blacklist capitalized.
That's one of those moments where you feel hurt, man. You have two ways to help your teammate, and none were there.
Yeah, definitely a big miscalculation for DEUS VULT, and this is what separates the boys from the men. This is what separates the S-tier teams and the A-tier teams. Blacklist International not making those minute mistakes right now as DEUS VULT unable to keep up.
The saddest thing, Sunset Level was there. He had the Netherrealm, but I feel like the call was save the Netherrealm for the bigger fight.
Yeah, just use the hard guard, and Sawo was like, wait, are you going to use it? Appraiser's Wrath on the Sawo, just to zone him away mid lane. Magister trying to hold down the tier 1, but it's still going to be taken down by Blacklist International. And now both teams disengaged, but Blacklist are walking away with a 4,000 gold lead.
Let me just say, Mirko, your question was interrupted, but I feel like that's the answer. At this point, it's not because of the draft, man. It's because of the calls.
Yep.
The calls are definitely a problem for DEUS VULT. At this point, Blacklist International is starting to outclass them, showing them that maybe they are in a league of their own. DEUS VULT, though, we've seen them turn the tables before. We've seen them able to do things that many teams aren't able to. But is this going to be the end of their road? It's game number 2 right now. DEVU sitting in a significant deficit, but definitely still have some fighting capabilities here.
Right now, my personal worry is for DEUS VULT. If you want to win a fight, you need damage. And Carvey, I don't know if he, after what happened just now, he still has the mentality to move forward to dish out the damage. And at this point, even I don't know.
Yeah.
Should he have the mentality to move forward? Maybe it's better to take a back seat, see what happens first, and then dish out the damage. Maybe let UA do the initial part of the damage, and then have Carvey get some stacks and then finish it off.
I think so. I think the whole point of the Brody here is to be the executor, right? It can't be the main source of damage here, as, again, the way that they're fighting, they need to bait out a lot of these abilities. The Netherrealm coming in, the Blessing and the Moon Goddess. You put a Torn Apart Memory against two of those, and it's basically a wasted ultimate for the Brody. So it's really how they layer these abilities, the damage source as well, to get the execute onto the right members of Blacklist.
But the big problem is Carvey's supposed to snowball. The Brody is supposed to have a kill or two by now. And at this point, he has nothing. He actually has a death. Whoa.
Penalty zone flicker to the back right now. Netherrealm coming down, very clutch. Blessing the Moon Goddess coming down as well. Kid Bomba, very, very low. Oheb walks forward, finds the shot. Edward running away, sends Sui onto Magister now as he grants all the space that Blacklist need to get Oheb all those free hits.
Not only did Blacklist win out in that fight, but they walked out of that fight with full health bars. DEUS VULT unable to even chip into the heal coming from Renegade right now from the space created from the team of Blacklist. DEUS VULT aren't going to be able to last much longer if this is how fights keep going.
I don't want to be a party pooper, man, but at this point, I feel like Blacklist International, they need to receive damage from the crystal for them to die.
Yeah.
I feel like the turrets have to chip in.
They really do, LaFell. I think if the turrets don't chip in, DEUS VULT just simply don't have enough damage to melt down these HP bars. If it was bad earlier in game number 1 against the Tigreal, now put an Estes in and we got the answer we were looking for.
Dude, this is one of those comps where you just want to go to the next game, man.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot to compete with. Blacklist International closing in on the towers, Lord on the top side.
Counterpart memory used up. Oheb just soaks it in. Knows that there's Renegade on the side to give him more HP as Yue cuts in as well, looking for another angle to dish out damage, and there's no punishment. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Sunset Lover dealing some good damage onto Edward, but again, he can just sustain back up.
Let me just say, it's been 4 to 5 kills. It's a low kill count game. It's just because Blacklist International, there's never a point they have to force it. They do enough damage where this will have to disengage.
Force macro dominance. Kid Bomba poked down. One more shot. Oheb again. Even with the DPZ, it isn't enough to get away from the Filipino sniper.
That could be it. Blacklist International going to start chipping away at these towers right here. DEUS VULT need an answer. They need something to get out of this heel hell that they're in right now. Blacklist International trying to close things up.
What is the answer?
No, let me just say, Oheb took a lot of turret shots.
And he still didn't die.
And he still didn't die.
You know why?
Renegade.
Renegade.
The
heel man.
The heel man with the Haas Claw? It doesn't matter if you have a Boxia.
And they also have the Nether Realm. It's just...
No, 50% of what Blacklist has is still a lot. It's like 50% out of a million. 500,000 is still a lot.
That's a lot.
And you can see from Edward as well, usually you expect a Bloodlust axe, right? He went straight for the Oracle, so he knows, you know what, I'm just going to rely on Renegade to heal me back up.
Because as long as they buy time, right? As long as they're able to make these fights last more than 5-10 seconds, they always come out on top. At this point, it doesn't seem like there's an answer for DEUS VULT. Kid Bomba went for the more defensive build in the beginning. Carvey is still 0-1. I mean, nobody on the team can really do any damage to them.
Because the answer is, you want to outlast the Netherrealm and outlast the Blessing of the Moon Goddess. But let's be realistic. Can you? Right? Unless Kid Bomba dives in completely alone and he gets all of those things. Maybe. But let's be realistic here. I think that's difficult to do.
There's too much layering. Definitely way too much. Not just from the abilities to keep them alive, but also that damage. That Lord was blitzed.
I mean, not only that, but then you add a 10K gold lead on top of all those things, right? It's just,
Salt to
definitely just a little salt in the wound. Now we have Oheb already completely maxed out in items, as Carvey is still lacking 2. He's at a, what, 8.5, 9.5, 10.5, a 2,700 gold deficit right now.
Renegade as well, having the Enchanted Talisman as well as the Flask of the Oasis. Now, in case you guys don't know what a Flask does, when your HP is low, when you heal someone, they gain a shield. And at the late game, the shield is basically like 60% of your HP. Good luck trying to get anyone down at that point.
Especially when you have an 11,000 goal lead. Edward, knockout strike on 2 right now as another round gets popped in right now with a torn apart memory as well. Blacklist International, Bomba with a desperate play in the end, but the Appraiser's wrath comes down. And Oheb is free hitting. Game number 2 will end with Oheb picking up a triple.
And finish them off.
And they've been winning in the clumped up team fight, so maybe that might be it. Isolating them in the early game and then clumping up in the late game with the Ixia, punished with a full barrage.
All right, Blacklist International, agents all around. It's match point as DEUS VULT looks for another reverse sweep. Is it something that can be done?
Well, they got to do it here. They changed their strategy in terms of the draft, as well as having the roamer, the Kaja as the roamer. They got to be aggressive. But at this point, they got to make sure the calls are solid, the calls are good. Whoever they catch, the damage has to be there. If the damage dealers aren't ready, it's going to be a Blacklist game.
All right, so with what you said, they have to be aggressive. Do they just immediately start pushing in? And it looks like that's what they're already doing. Sawo already on Blacklist side of the river, and that is a good sight. They have the Lilia, they have that ability to kind of get into the face of Blacklist here. And as long as they can keep doing that, they can possibly control the pace. But here comes the emblems, LaFell.
The firmness coming in from Sensui is going to make it a little bit tougher for him to get bursted down, but 2 ruptures for the side of Blacklist, so they're ready to fight in the early game.
And the Master Assassin still has the choice for Carvey. That's an interesting one, man. On the Ixia, you would expect him to maybe go for just more damage or tenacity.
Yeah. I kind of feel like he hasn't really won the lane so far. So yeah, it is a very risky choice here. Looking at the items for now, looking like the Lilia does want to deal a bit more damage, and Renjay gets attacked.
Very low. Yue body blocking. And Renjay gets out, recalls back to safety.
So this is pretty normal for DEUS VULT, though. Even the past 2 games before this, they've been aggressive. They maybe even find a pickoff here and there. But Blacklist International always has that rubber band back. They always have that bounce back moment. The question is just when it will come.
All right. Magister actually takes that away from Sensui. No retribution committed just yet because it's 7 seconds till the turtle spawns. And Magister is going to be first onto it now. So already a difference from game 1 and 2. DEUS VULT are first on the neutral objective with more prio.
Oh, Kid Bomba getting attacked. Terrified.
A lot of damage, but it's going to be turned back. Oh, first blood by Kid Bomba. Even with US stolen penalty zone, wasn't able to save Edward.
Very well done by DEUS VULT. Slowing down Edward is going to be huge in this laning phase.
Retry battle, 50-50. It's going to be Sensui who wins it. 1-for-1, Sawo with a flicker, Divine Judgment, locking Yue down. Now onto Sunset Lover by Yue. Will he be able to escape right now? A lot of damage placed onto it, and the answer will be no. He'll be taken out.
But that's what they have to do. It doesn't matter what happens in the game. You try to get a trade on the turtle, you did not succeed. Get any kills, even the front lines, because at this point of the game, no one has completed items just yet.
Penalty zone onto Edward. This might be a solo kill. Edward 1 HP, very low. Kid Bomba looking for a dive. One more hit should do it. A hit and a flicker, a regen to respond it over, and Edward gets out, saving his flicker.
We've seen that play from Bomba before, and I think in game 1 he paid for it. At least this time, he's like, no, I'm not going to risk it. We got to play smart. It's match point. I really want it, but I'm going to back off. And I think that is a good play by Bomba, because Edward, if he had the same guard in time, if anything was to happen, Bomba would have been down.
Honestly, the concussive blast on Edward makes it so that even if he's very, very low, he's able to clear the lane very, very fast. So even if something goes wrong, it still goes right.
It's an assassin emblem. It's everything with the killing spree, with the damage as well, rupture, but it's concussive blast that helps him clear the wave. And Magister looking for a pick, goes on to Yue. Shield unity used up. Anything interesting in the in-game equipment here?
Honestly, the interesting part is the difference in terms of the gold. 2.5k gold for Kid Bomba, 1.9 for Edward. Edward, again, looking like he does want to go for the more aggressive build here.
Yeah, but Oheb is getting a slight lead over onto Carvey. Something I want to point out is, yes, DEVU is winning out in some of these fights right now, but the Magister Sensui rivalry here, Sensui's been coming out on these retributions a lot, even when it's 50-50. And we all know in the end, a lot of these games comes down to who can pull off the Lord. So Magister definitely going to need to step up his game here.
Yeah, looks like Sawo had an opportunity just now, but apparently just with Sunset Lover, they don't want to take the risk, especially because Yue having that Divine Judgment as well. Perhaps he was worried that he might get caught himself.
I think for both of them, they were trying to bait out each other's Divine Judgment, right? You do it first. No, you do it. But both of them stayed patient, and now it's going to be DEUS VULT who have this Sawo flicker Divine Judgment. There you go. He does it first, finds Yue. Penalty zone onto Renegade, who's forced to flicker meanwhile in the bottom lane, or up top actually. A little bit of a gank from the gold laner, rotating, and a bit of a curveball as well. Sensui spotted out in the bottom side Tribush. Walks out, tries to escape, but the Glooms locks him down real good. Sensui finds an angle again with the help of the Holy Healing. Sensui doesn't get it. It's Magister, 1 level down, but it's no problem for him.
All right, a good play by DEUS VULT, but they do lose Carvey, and Oheb is just having a free lane right now, and that is definitely not what you want when this mid-game comes around.
Speaking of mid-game, now we're transitioning into the mid-game. DEUS VULT, they have to understand how they want to control the map at this point, because when you have a Kaja, controlling those bushes is going to be very productive for your own team. The moment you lose those bushes, the Kaja isn't going to be as effective.
Wow. Bomba just out-trading Edward straight up.
Yeah, he's definitely hit the spike. Edward a little bit behind, but look.
Full barrage committed as well. Sensui goes for the taunt, dashes out to safety. One more hit should do it. And it's a big shield unity slammed to the ground to take Sensui out. Meanwhile, bottom lane still a 1v1 ensuing. Kid Bomba versus Edward.
Right now, the kill going to DEUS VULT, amazing. But they got to transfer the lead over to the objectives. They got to take down the structures here.
Raging Sandstorm to lock him down. The Filipino sniper on point. Jumps over to the DEVU. DEVU's passion used up, but Kid Bomba's a bit too tanky now. A four-man dive in the bottom side of the map. Kid Bomba looking to clear out the waves. The penalty zone onto Yue. The damage not going to be enough right now. He clears out. Yue does the same, and it's all a distraction to get Oheb the turret.
DEUS VULT almost got there in the nick of time. Luckily, Kid Bomba is able to just kind of play that very smoothly. They lose the tower, but if only the rest of DEVU's teammates came in a little bit faster.
Yeah, but right now, looking at the items as well, looking at Sawo, he's building a little bit tanky first. He's not really bothered to build the fleeting time. So I kind of feel like this is a better approach, a safer approach to this fight. Looking at the items as well, oh, goes in.
Full barrage, a beautiful divine judgment from Sawo, but no more CC. Quick sand guard by Edward. He might be able to survive this one. Flickers out to safety. Agent Zero gets out.
Taking a kneel and flickering away in clean fashion.
Apparently the corrosion scythe isn't enough yet for Carvey. He might need 2. Heck, he might need 3.
He might. And now Sensui is doing a good job at actually just zoning Magister away. 1-to-1 in turtles. The third turtle of the game spawning now. And Black was our first onto it. Edward, even though he was poked down, now jumps in, penalty zone, locks onto 2, but Yue does the same thing. Edward gonna be chunked down and taken out, executed. Kid Bomba taken low. Sensui finds the turtle. And Sunset Lover pops the glooms down. A good taunt from Sensui. The Filipino sniper not able to find his mark.
So DEUS VULT does come out taking a kill almost each time they have an engagement, but still Blacklist International secures the third and final turtle of Game 3.
Personal opinion, I kind of feel like that's more worth it for Blacklist International because DEUS VULT, the only way that they can neutralize the lead is if they got 1 more kill. And if most of the members have an assist, if they got 3, it would have been DEUS VULT victory there.
Part 2, Raging Sandstorm this time, just used up, it gets out, and DEUS VULT, they're not able to really look for these proactive maneuvers.
Right now, looking at the items as well for the gold laners, both gold laners have 2 items, but I would say the impact is bigger for Oheb because it's a bigger power spike for the Beatrix.
All right, Blacklist now trying to fight back. DEUS VULT have kind of held up the aggression in these fights, so we gotta watch because this is about the time that Blacklist normally hits that rubber band. Right around 8 to 9 minutes is when Blacklist finds that spike. They find that moment. They find that groove when all 5 of them can group together and try to push in.
Penalty zone, oh, out to 3 full barrage. Just a full barrage, not in range though. Kid Bomba with the one isolated, and now the Raging Sandstorm from Edward connects Yue. Flickers out to the Holy Healing. A perfect skirmish for Blacklist International. DEUS VULT down 2 members.
That's not what you want to see as a DEUS VULT fan. The idea was there, but the spacing wasn't, and now they're going to get cornered.
Edward jumping into the house. Oh! Box him down, the Appraiser's Wrath used up. Sunset Lover pops into black shoes. Magister now caught underneath between the 2 turrets in the mid lane. But Blacklist International, they'll take that win and they'll step away.
You know, when that first fight went down, DEUS VULT started it. I thought for sure Carvey might have used the flicker. Wait, Sawo.
We're gonna Divine Judgment, locking Oheb down. A penalty zone as well. Oheb still doing a lot of damage, but it's not gonna be enough. It's Yue. Pops in the penalty zone. A DPZ for himself. DEUS VULT kiting back. Holy baptism from Renegade. The Hitman turned to Heel Man. Turns it around again. DEUS VULT forced to run back to their turrets.
Once again, DEUS VULT looks for the play, but Blacklist counters time and time again. DEUS VULT just can't get a full win here.
You said it right, man. Blacklist, they keep doing it. Whenever they're running away, they're not really running away. It's a setup. They're getting ready for a bite back. And the thing is, DEUS VULT just keep going for it. Like, Sensui was a superstar just now. Taunting 2, making it easy for the Hitman to get the Holy Baptism, that was amazing.
They're 2 to 3 steps ahead every single time. DEUS VULT are going in with these honest initiations, and Blacklist have so much up their sleeve.
Now, with the items finally, you know, coming into this mid-late, what are we looking at, LaFell?
It's scary. 8.4K on the Beatrix. The Beatrix has 3 items completed. The Ixia only has 2. And Renegade now having the Enchanted Talisman as well. They can do this Lord Dance all day. They got the mana regeneration. They got the cooldowns.
Yeah, and this has been the story for the past few games. OHEB has just had a free lane, and as long as OHEB gets a free lane, it is a problem, especially on something like this, a super comfort pick for him. Conceal play, though.
Not going to find anything. Blacklist International read that out with Edward earlier. And now DEUS VULT, they take control more. Better space, I would say, around this Lord pit, but Blacklist just are holding on to it. Sensui's holding on to the Lord. He's not going to be giving it over to DEUS VULT as the bottom side of the map will be cleared out. DEUS VULT holding it down still, and Sensui is denying this reset from DEUS VULT. Kibamba taught it up. Holy Baptist connecting as well. Raging Sandstorm to the back. Salvo is going to be gone away with a penalty zone. That was some damage. Oh! Harvey turns it around. Sensui finds the Lord. Magister running for dear life. And Blacklist International, they lose 2, but they find a big, big objective.
I would say I see what DEUS VULT was trying to do. They tried to split the map up, having 2 different squads. You're going to go for the Lord. We're going to go going for the kills. We're going to look at the instant replay here. Looking at the positioning coming in from DEUS VULT. 2-man Magister as well as Kibamba there on the side. Sawa was there, was able to basically protect Carvey in the backside, making sure that they deal the damage. But when it comes to kills and deaths, it's 2 for 2. But Blacklist, having the Lord, especially with their goal lead, it is still Blacklist favored.
Yeah, but there again, if Magister could have just got the 50-50 there, we would be telling a different story. It'd be 2 for 2 in the hands of DEUS VULT with the Lord, though. And this is becoming the problem.
Samo's opening up Divine Judgment with a full barrage. Also Sensui just tanks it up. That's the damage coming down from OHEB. A 4-man penalty zone, but OHEB is able to flicker. Outraging Sandstorm coming down. Connecting on a Magister. The crowd goes wild. DEUS VULT getting the health bars of Blacklist really low, but unable to execute anyone. Meanwhile, bottom lane, that's a base turret taken down.
What do they do here? Carvey, even when he's getting a full barrage, he's not...
Oh! 3 shots back to back to back. They're feeling it. Sunset number 4 to use the Purify. The Black Shoes, you are chasing it down. What a Blazers wrath! And the 4th shot in a row for the Filipino sniper.
Blacklist International are ramping up the pace. They're trying to end this soon.
Dude, the damage from Blacklist is unreal. What can DEUS VULT do?
Holy Baptist and Raging Sandstorm. Everything in the kitchen sink to send the home ground.